He does not belong on the national stage. He looks like some disheveled drunk that wandered onto the political stage.
It's not true. I'm completely sober. You're right. It was quite a week for the orange chic. First, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand demanded that Donald Trump resign over past harassment allegations. Yes, she's quite the defender of women. I think we have tape of her condemning Ted Kennedy. Roll it. I guess not. But maybe Ted was a real gentleman after all, when he wasn't driving women off bridges. And now she thinks Bill Clinton should resign 20 years later. How convenient. Maybe say something when you could still get it up. And great job standing up to Harvey all those years. Now, I'm merely pointing out the obvious. It's political when they hopscotch their targets. Ted Kennedy, skip. Clarence Thomas, land. Bill Clinton, skip. Donald Trump, land. You sense a pattern here? Anyway, Trump responded to Gillibrand, tweeting that she'd come begging for campaign funds and that she'd do anything for them. And that set off the familiar flesh-based car alarms. Senator Warren accused Trump of slut-shaming, which is weird because he said the same thing to Mann, Cruz, and Romney. Trump's an equal opportunity trash talker. Sounds like Liz is calling the senator a slut, not Trump. If I were Native American, I'd be very disappointed in her. But it didn't stop there. Here's Morning Woe.
Here he is suggesting that Kirsten Gillibrand would do anything.
Let's just say it. He's suggesting that Kirsten Gillibrand would have sex with him in order to get campaign contributions.
Right.
The president actually tweeted that this morning.
Let's just say it. Oh, she's such a crusader for women. Well, just some women.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders, I feel sorry for you. I've started a hashtag support for Sarah, and get your mind out of the gutter. I seriously support you in your quest for truth, in your quest for goodness, in your quest for love of country, because you haven't made it there yet.
She's so vacuous. I wonder what Sarah's dad has to say.
Mika can go pound sand somewhere as far as I'm concerned.
You don't piss off the Huck. And he really is our nation's Shakespeare. Speaking of Sarah, here's April Ryan challenging her over Trump's tweet. You have to watch April's face in this.
April?
Gillibrand owed an apology for the misunderstanding of the president's tweet this morning because many, including the senator, thinks that it's about sexual innuendos.
I think only if your mind is in the gutter would you have read it that way. And so no.
See, that's the malfunction of confirmation bias. If you already think that Trump's a pig, any deviation will not compute, so you make that face. It's actually pretty amazing what a Trump presidency does to people. Even when there's good news, they still lose their minds.
Please don't do this. It really annoys me. You know, I really don't interrupt you, and you do this completely. I'm so through with your mansplaining, and you're smirking and you're laughing. I'm not in the mood for this today.
Make a point.
Oh, happy day. I've made my point.
Okay, good.
Well, this is my point, guys. Oh, happy day.
Let her finish.
Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Get over it.
I thought I was the only one who does TV drunk. And as terror struck in New York, CNN was busy checking how many cans of Diet Coke they can fit on a desk.
12 Diet Cokes, right? If we're saying, according to the Times, that he drinks this many, what does this do to the brain and the body every day?
So now we're soda shaming. Stay tuned for part 2 when they see how many victims of fake news they can fit into a telecast. That was a nice comment. No applause. Anyway, I don't want it anymore. I don't want it. I don't want your pity clapping. But so what if Donald Trump drinks 12 cans of Diet Coke a day? The people mocking him probably binge watch Grey's Anatomy, which is far worse for your health. 12 cans, it's an achievement. It's a carbonated version of a marathon. And he does it daily. Diet Coke is the nectar of the gods. I don't just drink it, I feed it to my parakeet. I love it. But not my lizard. My lizard prefers Sprite. But as the media chases Diet Coke, Trump went to work. He's inching closer to a decent tax deal, and luckily he got rid of the albatross that is Roy Moore. And so what if we got Doug Jones? He won't last. A lefty in Alabama is like a slice of pie on Michael Moore's lap. It disappears, or somewhere it gets lost. And the president has already moved on.
The directive I'm signing today will refocus America's space program on human exploration and discovery. It marks an important step in returning American astronauts to the moon for the first time since 1972 for long-term exploration and use.
Yes, we're heading to space. It reminds me of a movie.
In a world of Earth and gravity and bottomless brunch, one man wasn't satisfied and dared to dream big.
We're dreaming big.
This Christmas,
or Hanukkah or other non-Judeo-Christian holiday you celebrate,
dust off your space boots, cowboy. We're going to the moon. For real this time, not faked on a soundstage. And Mars.
We will establish a foundation for an eventual mission to Mars.
Though we're not really sure when, but we're definitely going. Probably. From the producers of Executive Action Parts 1 through 9, honestly, we lost count. Donald Trump, Mike Pence, and Sam Elliott as Astronaut Elliott Sam.
So good as it gets.
Executive Directive, return to the moon for the first time at last.
Yeah. We're going to the moon, and when we get there, we're going to build a wall. Boo. Let's welcome tonight's guest. Like toddlers in a shopping cart, he leaves them rolling in the aisles. Fox News radio host Tom Shillue. He's so sharp you can use him to doodle. Former Utah Congressman and Fox News contributor Jason Chaffetz. Chaffetz. She's quirky, smirky, and she loves her beef jerky. National Review reporter Katherine Timpf. And when he jumps rope, the whole world complains. Former bodyguard and my massive sidekick, Tyrus. Hey, Tom, what do you make of the tweets? A lot of people thought that Trump's tweets were sexist towards Gillibrand, but they were the same kind of tweets he did to Mitt Romney and Ted Cruz.
It's the perfect tweet, Greg.
Why?
Because it had the double meaning and get your mind out of the gutter. That was perfect. He did the tweet. He knew what they would make of it. Then they blew up about it. And then Sarah Huckabee Sanders says, get your mind out of the gutter. It's Trump trolling the press as he always does.
You know what he is? He's like the road runner. He paints the hole on the ground, and then they run, and then they fall into the hole.
And it's allowed. It's allowed. Sexual double entendres, they're allowed, Greg.
Kat, you told me in the green room that you agree completely with Tom.
I disagree with Tom.
Oh, okay. Why?
I just think it's not okay to basically suggest in a double entendre that a woman is prostituting herself or willing to prostitute herself.
But where's the suggestion?
He didn't say begging, Greg. He said begging. I know what begging is. What's begging? We all know, unless he's like running around like Joey Tribbiani doing this and doesn't know what a quotes mean. He meant for us in our mind to go there.
So he felt that Ted Cruz was begging?
Probably.
And Mitt Romney
he said begging. He didn't say begging. It's very different.
I don't know. I think, you know what?
Punctuation is a hell of a drug, guys.
I think you're a hypocritical feminist. If
Really?
men
Why?
and women...
Whoa, don't talk to me like that. I have a name, Greg.
Because, like, all men and women should be treated equal. You can do the study. He said the same thing to both sexes.
He didn't put quotes around begging when he talked about the men. That makes it much different.
You're still allowed to do it.
Yeah. Jason, where do you fall on this?
Excellent argument, Tom.
I'm smart enough to not engage in that conversation. I want to talk about the moon.
All right, tell me about the moon.
I love that Donald Trump doesn't have enough on the plate between taxes and North Korea and ISIS that he also wants to go to the moon because golf courses and drilling, there's a lot to be done there.
There is. You got the Trump rocks. You could sell Trump rocks. There's no Trump water, though, at least as far as we know. All right, Tyrus, I'm going to let you comment on whatever you want.
I think you're short and mean.
Tell me something I don't already know.
You know what? The moon thing, I think we can put it all together.
Right.
I think the moon is his escape strategy. I think the way that all these crazy investigations and innuendos, you can't say anything, can't type anything anymore. So he's going to be like, listen, I'm going to the moon. Who's going with me? And we got rocket ships, golf courses, McDonald's, all the Diet Coke you can drink. It's going to be a...
That's the scandal.
It's going to be phenomenal. That's the real
So you think he's going to go there with a rocket filled with Diet Coke?
Yeah, and McDonald's.
And Omarosa.
No, she can't come.
I mean, they all focused on the Diet Coke. The thing I can't get over is 2 filet-o-fish.
Yeah.
Who buys filet-o-fish?
Me!
They're terrible.
They're delicious.
Wait a minute. You mean filet?
Lent 2 filet-o-fish for a certain amount of money Fridays, whatever it is. No, that's the best.
McDonald's.
It's gross. It's the worst thing at McDonald's.
Kat told me she would do anything for a fillet of fish.
Wait a minute.
I'm not laughing at that.
She's not laughing.
I'm not. Let the record reflect. I'm not laughing at that.
All right. Well, I think we can all agree that I'm right. All right. Coming up, we discuss net neutrality with the experts. Just kidding. I'd rather talk about Omarosa, the story that will have no profound impact on average American lives. Next. So, what do you want to hear about? The tax plan? Boring. Net neutrality? Confusing. What else you got, news?
Omarosa, Greg. Omarosa.
Excellent.
A high-profile departure at the White House today. The press secretary announcing the resignation of Omarosa Manigault-Newman, a former contestant on The Apprentice.
There are conflicting reports tonight about what happened surrounding the departure of Trump aide and former Apprentice contestant Omarosa Manigault-Newman.
The White House officially says that Omarosa resigned, but CBS News has learned she was, in fact, fired.
Yeah, adiosa, Omarosa. The former Apprentice contestant says she's resigning effective January 20th after having a candid conversation with Chief of Staff John Kelly. In PR lingo, candid usually means you're a bad person and I hate your guts. CNN contributor April Ryan reported Omar was fired and escorted out of the White House. Omarosa calls fake news.
No one else has reported what she's reporting, and this is the one person who has attacked me for the last year. And so you know that this is personal.
Maybe you're a jerk. Anyway, the White House has wished her the best, which again in PR lingo means please go away, you scare us. By the way, Omarosa, why are you resigning now?
I wanted to make the 1-year mark. That was one of the goals that I set out to, and then get back to my life.
So that was her goal, to make it 1 year in the White House. That's like me saying in high school, my goal is to have acne and no girlfriend. I didn't have that choice, all right? And she didn't have that choice either, Tyrus. She's making it sound like it's her decision. She wasn't supposed to be there. That's my statement.
No, you're right. She was not supposed to be there.
Right.
She didn't even win.
I know.
I mean,
Did Geraldo win? Who won?
I don't know. I was out living life.
Bret Michaels won. Bret Michaels! Rock of Love.
Interrupt me one more time. I told y'all earlier, what's it, my mom, cruising for a bruising?
Yeah.
First guy to the moon. He made fun of my beard. That's why I'm mad. And then he tried to clean it up. He said he doesn't like beards, but there's so many other things about me that take your eyes off the beard. So basically, I'm a circus for his eyes. Look at freakish Tyrus. Look at his, he was mean to me.
Hypersensitive today. Are you going to answer the question?
No, I don't want nothing to do with Omarosa. It sounds like a bad drink. I just don't. She's trouble. She will say anything for attention, and this administration has had enough fake news or bad things said about him. Now you're going to have someone who will say anything for a paycheck.
Yeah.
Will do anything, and this was one of those things where Trump sometimes lets his heart think of ahead of his brain because she was so loyal and so these things gave her an opportunity, a job she wasn't really even qualified for, which was why she was fired. You don't talk trash to Kelly. That's ridiculous. But she's not going to see it that way. And so my concern is over the next few months, whenever she thinks she can make money off it, the accusations of sexual harassment, it'll racism, it'll be something to sting and get a headline at the expense of the administration. That's the type of person she is. So beware of her.
You know, Tyrus brings up a good decision, a good point. You can applaud. Jason, this loyalty often doesn't lead to the best decisions because you overlook competence and you forgive too easily. That's the only reason why she was there, was that he felt he had to repay her.
Yeah, that's a pretty important position. I can't figure out what she did, and I can't figure out how she does math because one year the president was sworn in on January 20th, and we haven't gotten to December 20th. So I don't know how a year adds up, but I would love to see the 4-star general, John Kelly, sitting down with her in this discussion and see, how that went.
Yeah, she is going to stay till January 20th. She is.
Well,
so
she gets paid.
She gets paid. Oh, she's gone, but she gets paid.
But her car was deactivated.
Yeah, they kicked her out. You know, Tom, every company has this type of person who gets a job as a favor. You're one of them. So,
I told you, Tom. I told you. What? I told you about him.
Where do you? What side are you on? Are you on Team Omarosa?
Of course I am, Greg. Can you think back 10 years ago? If we could look into the future and see that Omarosa would be in the White House, it's like our dreams are coming true. My only disappointment was that President Trump didn't fire her himself on camera. The thing that bothers me about this White House is that it's not more like The Apprentice. He should fire people himself on camera, and we should walk her with the rolly bag out of the back of the White House.
Yes.
And film it.
Into the car.
That's the best part.
Yes.
The rolly bag.
And they always get in the back of the car, Kat, and they say, "This isn't the last you've seen of me." They always do that on The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, every one of these shows that I'm sure you've applied for.
Well, not quite yet. What I love about the way this all went down is what happened is there were all these reports that it went down in such a crazy way, all these crazy stories, and she just said, no, that's fake.
Yes.
So she's not working for him. She's now moved on to being him, apparently. It's the exact same thing, but she was definitely fired, and it's really, really strange and sad to get essentially fired by the same dude twice.
Yep. Is that a jab at me?
No.
No, I've been fired by the same person.
Everything is about you.
Yes. All right.
Well, I, too, have been fired by the same person twice.
Me, too.
I am crushing it.
I don't know. Anyway, I wish her the best of luck, which means please stay away from me. All right. Up next, finally, a texting scandal that could end all texting scandals, or not. It's perplexing to see all their texting. So, do we need another special counsel to investigate the FBI and career officials at the Justice Department? Because some folks there may be biased against the president. That was a big issue in a congressional hearing this week. Look at these faces. After we read all those text messages between FBI Russian investigator Peter Strzok and his colleague / lover, FBI attorney Lisa Page. I love saying lover. Texts that were sent during the 2016 campaign. Here are some of their greatest hits. He said, "God, Trump is loathsome human, yet he may win. Good for Hillary." She said, "It is." Then he said this, just went to a Southern Virginia Walmart. I could smell the Trump support. Well, they sound like lovely people. And then this exchange, it's a big deal because it suggests a possible conspiracy. Strzok writes, the path you threw out for consideration in Andy's office, that there's no way he gets elected, I'm afraid we can't take that risk. That went over well with Republicans.
This guy thought he was Super Agent James Bond at the FBI.
Put on a jacket. And here's Trey Gowdy letting loose.
This is who we were told we needed to have an objective, impartial, fair, conflict of interest-free investigation. So he's openly pulling for the candidate he had a role in clearing, and he's openly investigating a candidate that he has bias against. And then if that's not enough, he says Trump is an effing idiot. What the F just happened to our country?
I gotta say, I like that guy. He's like a cross between Huey Lewis and the undead. It's true. It's true, Jason. Yeah, check him out. He's got a weird look.
I love Trey Gowdy. I hung out with him in Congress probably more than anybody else, and
he looks like a character out of Justified.
He was having a good hair day. He couldn't get the tie quite straight.
No, that's a Huey Lewis thing.
But that's his, that's his stick. And you know what? He is one of the smartest guys in Congress.
No. I like it. I like his style. He's an interesting person.
He's awesome. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's the Trey Gowdy hour. A lot of Trey Gowdy fans.
A lot of Trey Gowdy. The guy brings his game and he knows what he's talking about.
Watch out Monday. Some scandal will come out. Trey Gowdy arrested. 20 bodies found in his farm, but they were still alive. Anyway, Jason, does this merit investigation?
It does. By the Inspector General, I wouldn't actually put a second special prosecutor in place. How's the first one working out? I don't know why you'd think you'd do a second one. But the Inspector General has been at this for a year and a half. And remember, this person, Peter Strzok, that we're talking about, he's our top FBI official in charge of counterintelligence. 10,000 texts with his paramour.
And they're not even like 12 years old. I mean, that's a lot of texts for an actual adult. Which brings me to my theory, Tyrus, that all of these texts are turbocharged by dopamine-infused lust. You know, his heroic comments about stopping Trump, and she's like, go get him. It's like the team, the star-crossed lovers against the world fighting Darth Vader. This is what happens when, I'm too old. But the texting, everybody, when they get there in love, their emails, everything gets very...
I agree with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
What did you just agree to? I have no idea what the hell he just said. You just said that.
I agree with
you. You just agreed with him to stop him from talking.
It
worked.
She does it all the time.
I agree because...
Okay, what is his question?
Basically what
My time is on the clock.
Okay, now you're interrupting me. Basically what he was saying is that he was just trying to impress her with a lot of the stuff he was saying. For example, he actually said that he got chills during Hillary Clinton's nomination.
Yeah,
no, you didn't.
What guy would say that if he wasn't trying to get a woman into bed?
Exactly.
I mean, that's stuff you say to get lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. You didn't get chills.
Yeah.
Even the people I know who voted for Hillary Clinton were kind of like, I guess so.
Yes.
No one was excited.
Chris Matthews might have been.
Yeah. But we know he's losing it. Tyrus, I'm going to give you one more shot. Thoughts?
On what?
On the... All right. It's not like you
no further questions.
This isn't Law and Order.
It might as well
I'm
be.
Taking away your
He's
recliner.
been on Law and Order.
Oh, yeah. God knows playing what. All right, Tom. The real victims are the spouse who has to listen to everyone read the husband's texts about some other woman.
They're the most boring lovers I've ever seen. Where's the sexy talk?
Yeah.
Where's the, come over and I'll stroke your leg or anything like that? Give me something.
Yeah, it's true. But you know what? That's the point. They were trying to keep it in this kind of like romantic political intrigue.
They can still be objective, Greg. All they said was the president was loathsome and horrible, and it was Armageddon if he made it into office. Come on, they can be objective after that.
Yes, it's true. All right, I'm just going to say one thing to you, Tyrus. I feel bad that they're reading the text because all of us have texts about our coworkers, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they're not good. You see the stuff I have on Ed Henry and Kilmeade. There's a lot of fan fiction, actually, involving both of them and Woodland Creature.
We could do a great TV show where we could do, like, read texts between friends about coworkers. It'd be phenomenal.
Yeah, no, so
everybody be fired. Everybody in this audience be fired.
So I think they could be unbiased anyway, because I do think I think you're just venting. This is the new shrink.
But I also think it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as the investigation stuff goes, they're out of it. He's not part of it. I mean, if Trump didn't do anything, he said he didn't. We don't need this. This doesn't matter. This is not the hill I want to die on. Whether he said some bad stuff about him, I just don't.
This is the way. This is the revenge to get back at him for the collusion crap, right?
Well, listen, I mean, I don't even need. You don't need an extramarital affair. I would get fired for my regular old texts to my wife.
Yeah, yes, that's true. That's true. Yeah, the ones that you didn't kill. I joke that Tom looks like a serial killer. You stare at him long enough, the translucent skin. I mean, look at that. That's the last face you see. If you see that face, chances are you're about to die. Amazing. Coming up, alcohol, drugs. Which ones are teens using more, and will they share? I can't. Don't do drugs or drink, America. They're just saying no to the booze and the blow. According to a nationwide survey, my favorite kind of survey, smoking and drug use among American teenagers have hit their lowest levels in decades. With the exception of pot and vaping, everything else is down across the board compared to the 1990s, a decade that sucked, so it makes sense. Remember 1997? Yeah, it was the year of Bop. Titanic, terrible film. And, of course, Beanie Babies. No wonder kids did more drugs back then. As for today's teens, 33% report using drugs at some point in their life. That's like a fifth. I'm kidding. 17% have smoked cigarettes at least once, and 26% have been drunk. All big drop-offs from 20 years ago. Anyway, kids, don't do drugs. Here's me the last time I did drugs. Not that I thought I was a dog, it's that I could play so well. I've never touched the piano in my life. Thank you, Acid. Hey, Kat.
Yes.
I believe that this whole thing comes down to who got there first. Like, drugs are a fact of life, but booze got there first. And so we did the civilization said, we could only handle one thing. So let's just make it alcohol and then ban everything else. I think it's unfair to drugs.
Yeah, it is unfair to drugs, although I personally don't smoke pot because I can have a panic attack all on my own.
That's
I don't
true.
need any help with that.
Yeah.
But alcohol, yeah, the things that people do when they're drunk are a lot worse than the things that people do when they smoke marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
And yet somehow one's allowed and one's not. And vaping, by the way, is also very dangerous.
How so?
Emotionally.
Oh, really?
I'm trying to quit, and it's really hard. I decided I want to exercise for endorphins instead of like vaping for them, like some kind of robot Neanderthal, and it's been a lot harder than I thought.
Well, you know what? Yeah, I think vaping is going to save millions of lives by getting them to stop smoking cigarettes, but that's just me. And send me more vaping products. Okay, Tom, but a lot of people are vaping pot, which I think is strange.
I think it is. I'm more old-fashioned, Greg.
Really?
Yeah, back in my day, you had that, like, wizard bong, or it was always like a wizard or a you know, or a unicorn, something of that genre.
Don't soil the unicorn.
I don't smoke pot, Greg. I do not.
Now, what do you do anyway? Do you do anything?
I don't do any. I do drink whiskey, Greg.
You drink a single glass of whiskey before you go to bed, don't you?
You're right.
Yeah,
How did you
knew
know
it.
that?
Called it.
Yes. And, of course, you drink the blood of your victims. Which is why he looks so strange. Jason, we all know that you're heavily into drugs. What are your thoughts about the decline? Is this good? People think it might have to do with smartphones.
The decline is good. I can't say that I've done any of those things along the way, but all this talk about pot, I'm really getting hungry.
Well, we spiked your drink.
That's what they tell me,
Yes.
you know, that happens.
Tyrus, I came to you last because I don't think you do drugs.
You don't know me. You might be correct in this instance, but you don't know me. Well, here's the thing. Those numbers are way off. One, because all the kids take Adderall now.
That's true.
They get prescriptions now.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point.
There was Ritalin in the 90s.
Not like it is now. Literally, you go to the doctor and hiccup. Oh, he's got ADHD. Give him something. Like literally, it's like a Tic Tac. And the other thing is, getting alcohol requires ambition.
Yes.
You have to do a beer run.
Yeah.
You guys remember a beer run?
Yes.
Like back when kids used to play outside. So you get together, you're running at 7, grab it, and you run out and hop in the car and take off. Now it'd be like, I downloaded the beer. It's not loaded. It's not.
I think you punched me once.
What?
I think I used to. No, because we're a different age. But I remember.
I would have punched you regardless. Did you need me now?
No, but I remember trying to get somebody to buy up for me. You know, when you wait out for somebody to buy up for you at 7-Eleven, and then I gave money to a young gentleman who came out and then punched me in the face with my beer in his hand.
No, that's terrible. That's messed up. But the point is, you had to be ambitious to get alcohol.
Yes.
You know what I would do?
What?
Dress up like an old man.
Oh, that's right. This is something you have done.
You know, you always tried to look older, tried to look 19 or 20. I was like, why not go the whole hog? So I would look 70.
Yes.
They never checked the ID of an old man. Worked like a charm.
That is so amazing. Who's going to ask for your ID if you come in with a cane and you're hunched over?
They would carry the case of beer to my car.
And that's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Well,
you had to go. You had to be adventurous. You had to go get it. Now, if it's not an app for it,
this is. You know what? This is what worries me is that when you were young and you drank beer, you would still like maybe go to college and get a job. If you put pot before your achievements, you're less likely to go do things. Pot should be treated like a martini.
Well, but
you have it after work when you're successful.
But you have amazing ideas when you smoke pot.
Yeah, it is true.
You know what I'm saying? Like I always had some great. I could never remember them, but I had some phenomenal
My
ideas.
idea was always get more pot.
You know.
Anyway.
It's like wishing for more wishes, Greg.
Wishing for more wishes. Okay, still to come. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame announced the 2018 inductees. We pretend to care next. They've been snubbed from the club. The 2018 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees have been announced, and sadly, Radiohead, a.k.a. the greatest band of all time, has been left off the list. Granted, this was only their first year of eligibility, but it's still a travesty of epic proportion because Radiohead's cultural impact over the last 25 years is undeniable. Consider, before Radiohead, this is how humans used to play Frisbee. After Radiohead, this is how we play Frisbee now. Before Radiohead, this is how we made pizza. After Radiohead, this is how we make pizza now. I could go on forever, but you get the point. Everything in life is better because of Radiohead. Anyway, here's the artist that did get into the hall. The Cars, great. Dire Straits, great. The Moody Blues, Nina Simone, and Bon Jovi. Yeah. No. For more, we actually caught up with Bon Jovi for a comment.
That's awesome. That's all good. Yeah. Thanks.
Hair keeps getting shorter. John Bon Jovi got rid of the hair. Tyrus, excited? Sad? You love Radiohead.
Who? I mean, they had that one Creep song, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm more excited about Bon Jovi fighting you.
Yeah.
You should get him, Bon Jovi. He just called you an old lady.
No, it's
Live
just
and
that
let die.
rock stars are very skinny, and when they get older...
Honestly, when I wake up in the morning without my hair extensions in, I look almost exactly like Bon Jovi.
Really?
Well, the thing about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I think there's really only one Hall of Fame, and that's baseball, because it's so hard to get in. They'll have years where, like, nobody gets in.
No, that's a good point.
It just seems like every year they just throw someone in the Hall of Fame. We just have to have someone in the Hall of Fame. That's not what it's about. All those groups, except maybe the Cars, but, like, just they were good groups, but if you're a Hall of Fame, then this dude, the little kid in the first row, would be like, oh, yeah, I heard of those guys before. But, I mean,
It's too, what you're saying is it's too fresh and too easy. Kat, this must have complicated your dating life because all the men you date must be in agony, and I'm not sure if you can tell if they're in agony because usually they are miserable.
Always in agony.
Yes.
And I think I'm kind of into it.
Yes.
Puts me in a certain power position.
Right, I see.
I feel a lot better about waking up in the morning looking like Bon Jovi because they're sad anyway. Bon Jovi, though, I'm not even sure I remember how he sings songs because every time I hear them, there's like a pack of drunk women screaming the lyrics.
Yes, yes.
I don't even remember what his voice sounds like anymore.
It's just one big chorus.
Dad rock.
It is dad rock.
rock.
Granddad rock, actually. Tom, I wonder if, why do you have to be a rock star to be in the Hall of Fame? Why can't you just identify as one?
Yeah, exactly. Dad rock is great.
Yeah.
Dad rock is rock.
Yeah, it is
That's
rock.
what it's called.
That's what it is.
It's
It used to be called classic rock.
Yes. In fact, we need to end rock and roll, I think 1991, make it 51 to 91, a nice 40-year period. Historical eras have to end, like the Reformation, the Renaissance. So you can't, like, rock and roll is planning on going on forever.
Right.
It's not. We have to end it. It's a good 40-year period.
Yes.
What a great idea I just had.
Yeah, it is a great idea. It's a great idea. I will say that Bon Jovi brought a lot of people pleasure by retiring.
Damn.
Yeah. Jason, thoughts on this? I know you're a Cars fan.
Oh, big Cars fan. Let the good times roll. I love the Cars. I kind of grew up on the Cars, but they are all dad bands.
Yeah.
And if I asked my 25-year-old son, he'd probably say, oh, yeah, Dad, that'd be great. Them and Styx and you know, some of these other bands. And I don't know, if you start playing Indian casinos in the middle of Arizona, I don't know that you should qualify for...
I love those casinos. By the way, they have great venues. I've seen a lot of concerts there. Jason, how dare you? You know, the most popular requested artists at rest homes are Bon Jovi because they make death more welcoming to the people there. When they hear Bon Jovi, they can't wait to leave the earth. You know that?
That's kind of how I feel about Bon Jovi.
Yeah, you know, but I will say, I'm getting to like Radiohead. My favorite song right now is that one they do about the color yellow.
Boy, that got one left. Somebody laughed at that.
Yeah,
someone in the audience.
Somebody got the joke.
You know, the amazing thing is we just had a whole discussion just to justify that Frisbee video that you came up with.
Perhaps. They don't do that on Cavuto. Don't go anywhere. Everyone here has more to say, and it could be life-altering. Final thoughts next. I'll see you Monday on the 5 at 5 p.m. Eastern. We're running out of time, so...
What you've wanted to say all show, but haven't had the chance to say, so here's your chance to say it. Right now.
Tom, anything to add?
You're going to be a part of my Christmas special, A Very Tom Shillue Christmas, on my radio show, and it's going to play on Christmas Eve and on Christmas. I hope you're going to be on it.
Oh, no, I'm so happy, and I know that you play it loud so they won't hear the screams of your victims. in your workstation in the garage. Jason?
On a little bit of a serious note, you know, I've been in Congress. I had an opportunity to see men and women serving our country across the globe. And they have people on ships and bases in Afghanistan, and they're away from their family. And it's the holidays. So Merry Christmas, God bless, and thank you for your service.
I disagree. No one would ever say. No one would say that. Tyrus?
Yo, well, I got two thoughts in my head. One, I'm thankful the $2 bill's back.
Oh yeah! And, only person with $2 bills.
And I'm all about Yem.
What's that?
You enjoy myself.
I don't know. Maybe I'm old. Anyway, Kat?
So I don't want to die in a hospital.
Okay.
But if I do, I want my last words to be, "You got the music in you," and I want to say it to a janitor.
All right. That's an interesting closing. I don't know what it means, and maybe I'll never know. But that's what makes us human. Thanks to Tom Shillue, Jason Chater,